Hello, everybody. This is Rob Behrens. I'm doing this tutorial video today on stereo spread, how to get a big wide stereo image. And I'm going to show you some of this one big mistake that I've seen some producers actually on YouTube videos make. Uh, it's, well, let me just go through what I've got here. I've got a MIDI part that I played in earlier, and I'm using piano, and I'm using it in mono. And I'll play that for you. Well, you can hear that it's in mono. And so I've got 5 identical tracks, all in mono, and I've cleaned up the MIDI. I played it to the metronome earlier, kind of cleaned the MIDI file, kind of made the velocities all the same, because I'm not as good as Jonathan Cain. Well, this is a piano-centric part. That song, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, you know, the final song, the final episode of The Sopranos, and I'm sure everybody's heard it and know how it's supposed to sound. It's not supposed to sound like this, right down the middle in mono. So anyways, basically what I'm going to do, and what I did is I set up ESX24 all in mono, and it's Yamaha Grand, and we're going to spice it up here. But one of the mistakes that I've seen people make when trying to get a big wide stereo image and make it feel like it's, you know, just a big sounding real big, which is what everybody seems to want, real big sound. They'll say, well, I've got my DAW, I got Logic, I got Ableton, I've got all the control in the world. You know, I'll keep this one in the middle, I'll hard pan this one here, and I'll do this one right, this one left, and I'll go 2 o'clock here or 10 o'clock here, and I'll go 2 o'clock over here. And then boom, you know, I'm golden. I've got a big sound. That's it. That's all there is to it. But dude, that's not going to work. Sounds exactly the same. And the reason that is a stereo signal is made up of the sum, which is the mono, which everything that sounds the same comes down the center, and then the difference, the signals that sound different from each other, are on the left and the right. And so if you just pan the same identical signal, no matter how you pan it, you're not going to get any, your brain will not pick out the difference, and so therefore will not place it in space differently. That's the way the brain's designed. It's called. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you first the Haas effect, and I think we'll start with these two here. We'll pan this one left, we'll pan this one right, and what we'll do is we'll start this one playing a little bit earlier. So you go over here, and Logic allows you to delay the start of the signal. I'm going to delay this one. Let's start with 13 ticks. So this one's going to play earlier, and this one's going to play later. Go with 13 ticks, see if that's enough here. Should be. And now you'll get a stereo spread because they're different. And that's just one way to do it. There are plugins in Logic that'll do it, the sample delay. But I just wanted to do this for illustration, showing you how you're actually delaying each channel against each other, and boom, you've got a big sounding part. And now there's other ways to do it. Now in this song, this piano sound that Journey used was a really chorusy sounding part. So yeah, let's throw a chorus on here. And a chorus, what it does is slightly changes the pitch and slightly delays. It breaks it up into a handful of, I don't know exactly how many different signals, maybe only 2. And then it sums them back up together. So let's go over here to modulation, chorus, mono to stereo because we want it spread out. And let's just play this part here. Let's turn it up a little bit here. Turn the intensity up. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to take this back down to -12. I had them all -12 because it'll really pile up on the master. Okay, so now we've got a chorus which is spread out. We got left and right signal. So we're starting to sound big. All right, already sounding pretty good. So on this one, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a delay, just a regular stereo delay. Up here to delay, stereo delay, mono to stereo. And I want to make these, what do I got on the right there? I got a quarter note, so let's go quarter note. And then I'm going to stereo link it. Then I'm going to go over here and just change one. They'll both change. I want to go to 16th dotted. Then I want to go ping pong. And let's see how that sounds. It's going to sound weird. It's going to sound slappy, but we can adjust that. So now you're sounding like you're in some kind of room. All right. So what I'll do here is I'll get rid of all the mud. Up right about 340-ish, 350. Then take this down so you don't have, it's not too bright. You know, the signal that is delayed, the part of the signal that's delayed is not too bright. So it's just subtle. Let's see how that goes. And then we're going to dial it down. I'm going to dial the mix down a little bit. About 20 ought to do it. Okay, so we're starting to build here. We got the chorus, the Haas effect, and the delay. Bring that up maybe a little bit now. So now let's go to this one here and let's just add something else here that is obviously will increase your stereo image, and that's a reverb. So let's go down here to reverb. Just throw a platinum verb on here, mono to stereo. And we'll start adding that in. Let's see. Okay, now when you add it all together, well, it sounds a lot bigger, but now this one's coming out stereo. Oh, why is this one coming out stereo? Oh, because I put the final output on the plug-in stereo. Never mind. Hadn't noticed that. This one has the chorus. This one has the delay, stereo delay. So their output is in stereo, so it's going to show up on your VU meters as stereo. Yeah, so there you go. And there's other things you can do here. You can take and get rid of the mud on the ones on the, especially on the delay and the reverb. You want to get rid of the mud. So get rid of the mud on that channel and get rid of the mud on this channel. Because you don't want a bunch of low frequencies bouncing around or echoing around. Now on this one here, you're not going to get a bunch of mud bouncing around because you're just using the Haas effect. But I would still recommend going in with a mid-side EQ and maybe monoizing it a little bit on the low end. So yeah, there you go. And you can almost hear Steve Perry. You're ready for Steve Perry to come in with the vocals. Well, and just thanks for watching, and I hope that helps. You have to, there's a lot more techniques. You just have to practice this stuff. I picked this up over the years, and you don't want to go overboard on, you don't want to make everything wide in your mix, because then your brain is going to start getting lost and it's going to start sounding smaller. The more this stuff you add and pile up on the edges of your mix is going to start sounding smaller. So, especially if you have a bunch of stuff playing at the same time. And if you'll notice, the tracks that sound really big, less is more. And I have a problem with that, I'll admit. I put too many elements in my tracks. But sometimes I get lucky and smart, and I don't. And they sound bigger. So yeah, I hope this helps, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.